Hey guys, Derek here. I want to welcome you to a new locomotive review. As some of you may know, a couple years ago, Bachmann announced they would be releasing their HO scale versions of the ES44AC and the SD70ACe in the Norfolk Southern Heritage paint schemes. Well, after a long anticipated wait, they finally released them. And I have one of each here today. I have an ES44AC GEVO and an SD70ACe. I will be doing a review video on each one of these. I will review one of them immediately following this, and I will review the other one on a separate video. So be sure to check out my other Bachmann review video for the other locomotive. Stay tuned guys, and I hope you enjoy. Alright guys, what we have here is Bachmann's SD70ACe HO scale with their sound value decoder from Soundtrack Tsunami. This is a dual mode decoder, so it's capable of being run on DCC and the straight analog DC layouts. They do recommend though, if you use this on a straight DC layout, you have a good quality controller and the sound will not come on until roughly 5 volts and the engine will not move until roughly 7.5 volts. So keep that in mind. For this video we will be dealing with DCC only. This does come with the accurate prime mover sound according to Bachmann, with 3 selectable horns and a bell. So let's get busy with the unboxing and we'll take a look at this locomotive. Okay, let's get started with the unboxing. This is just your typical red Bachmann box that they use for all their sound value on board locomotives. They haven't changed anything there. Inside you will find your warranty card, paper to order one of their catalogs, paper explaining their warranty, their special notice, important notice for their DCC decoder and how it will function and operate. Their typical instruction manual, exploded parts diagram, and their quick start guide for the sound value decoder. With a list of the functions available, which we will go over later in the video. And now we have this. It's the typical Bachmann plastic protective covering. There is no sleeve on this one. Let's pop this open. They do have plastic inside here and on the bottom to protect the locomotive. There are no handrail protection styrofoam pieces on this, as some other manufacturers do. So the packaging is, it's alright, it's mediocre. I've seen better packaging. But now that we have this out of the box, first thing I'm going to do is we are going to take this over to our scale and we're going to weigh it up. Okay, here we have our scale set on ounces. And that is weighing in at 18.1 ounces. If you can see that, if not, you will have to take my word on it. 18.1 ounces. Okay, I just want to give you my first impressions after taking this out of the box. I can clearly see that Bachmann has made an improvement with the appearance of their locomotives and their detailing. We will cover some of that in this review. And as you can see here, I did bring up pictures of the actual locomotive as a comparison to go over the details, the visual details of this locomotive. That will help me in determining how much is accurate, how much might not be accurate. But let's get on with the review. I will zoom more in on this locomotive. You're here to see the locomotive and not the computer picture. Okay, let's start with the front of the locomotive. Of course, we have your plow, your MU hoses and cables. The MU hoses are not painted. You do have a coupler cut lever. These are non-operating ditch lights. They do not work, but they look accurate in size. The handrails, nice yellow paint there. The center chain is painted silver. It's not one color all the way across, so that's a plus there. Across the top we have separately applied grab irons and sand hatches. But down along the front, these grab irons are all molded on. One plus I would say is that they're not extremely noticeable because they're back in behind everything else, but I will be honest with you, that's a pretty negative in my view. The paint on the front looks clear and crisp and correct. The flag is correct. I do see, looking at the prototype picture, there are a couple warning labels that are missing right here, but that is not a big deal. There are also extra detail down under here. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but overall I'd say the front is fairly good, except for the molded on grab irons. That's pretty negative in my opinion. The number boards and the headlight is correct. You got your windshield wipers, and the PTC antenna array looks accurate. So let's move right along. Okay, here we are at the front side of the locomotive. All the numbers and lettering is clear and crisp. You do have your shade and 2 rear mirrors. Along the bottom, the truck detail for Bachmann. Bachmann has really stepped it up with their truck detail. We got some sand piping. I don't know if I can zoom in to show you that. I will try. A little too far. As you can see, the truck detail is pretty good. You do see some wires coming up from underneath there. Please take note of that. Kind of a bummer there too. But as far as their truck detail, I'm pretty impressed with that, especially the sand piping. All the warning labels look accurate and placed accurately on this side of the locomotive. There is nothing that I see wrong there. You do have some extra piping in this area too that's added on. Not too bad. Okay, and again on the back, everything looks prototypically accurate. Again, nice truck details. All the warning labels look accurately placed. One thing to take note, there are no see-through grills on this locomotive, front or back. But while I have you on video here, I want to do something that I know is important to some people, and that is handrail thickness. Now, I have my digital caliper here, and I am going to measure the thickness of the handrails. They look like a nice size handrail. I will do this on camera for you. They are 0.6 millimeter thick, and as a comparison, I don't have another SD70ACe to compare it to, but if you compare it to another Bachmann, their DDA40X has 0.7 millimeter thick handrails, and an Intermountain Gevo has 0.6 millimeter handrails. So they're right up there with the same thickness as the Intermountain locomotives. So that's just something to take note. As we move on to the rear of the locomotive, again, everything looks accurate. The letters are clear and legible and crisp. You have MU cables, non-painted, in the rear, coupler cut levers, and the same as the front, the hose. Non-functioning ditch lights again, and molded on grab irons again on the rear. That kind of stinks, but it is what it is. You have your separately applied sand filler hatch up here, and the handrails and everything are painted nice. Everything looks accurate as far as I can tell on the back. And here we are on this side. As with before, the paint and numbers are clear and legible. Warning labels are in the accurate locations. And we have some extra piping underneath here that was added, separately applied. I will see if I can zoom in on that. And again, great truck details with sandpiping. The walkways are not see-through or etched metal. They are completely smooth. Something to take note of. Okay, let's finish up the details part of this review by looking at the top of the locomotive. As I said earlier, we have the PTC antenna array. Looks accurate, although it is molded on. Sorry about that, molded on. It is not separately applied. Same with these antennas up front. Sorry about that, I keep getting you out of the camera. Those are all molded on to the body. They are not separately applied. Moving along, there are no see-through grills. The exhaust is not see-through. The horn is not bent and looks prototypically accurate to me. As we move along back through here, the fans are not see-through. These are all molded on. The piping in here is all molded on. And we get back to the dynamic brake. Again, the fan is not see-through, just simply molded on details. Something to take note of. All in all, though, not bad looking. And as I said earlier, there is not any see-through grills or fans on this locomotive. Alright guys, here we are in the layout. I do want to let you know that the knuckle couplers are Easy Mate Mark II plastic knuckle couplers from Bachmann. That comes on all of their products, just to let you know in case you did not know. Now, we start this locomotive up by applying track power, which I am going to do right now. The prime mover does come on. We will set this at the default address of 3. Now we will go through some of the functions. Of course, you hear the prime mover. Function 1, we have the bell. Function 2 is your long horn. Function 3 is the short horn. Function 4 is your dynamic brake. Function 5, Function 6, and Function 7 do absolutely nothing. Function 8 mutes it and brings it back. I apologize, Function 7 is your headlight dimmer. Function 5 and 6 serve no purpose. And neither do any functions after Function 8. Function 8 is the last usable feature for this decoder. Now let's take a look at the lighting. Okay, now I will turn on the headlight. I don't know how well that shows up on video, but the headlights are very dim, barely noticeable. It is directional lighting. When you change directions, the opposite lights will dim. They will not go completely out. The front, I just changed it to reverse, and the front headlight did dim. I'm not sure if it picks up on camera or not, but I'll get back to forward. The headlight is very dim to begin with. Now these are all, everything you see is straight out of the box. I want you to see what you will get straight from the box. Let's have a look at the rear light now. Alright. The rear light. And when you change direction, it will dim, such as you see there. And again, as far as the ditch lights, these are non-functioning ditch lights. For you kit bashers and detail experts out there, it is probably possible to add your lone light to it, but with this being a limited feature decoder, I do not believe there are any function outputs for ditch lights. I would imagine you can wire them straight to your lights, but they will not alternate or flash when the horn is blown as per the prototype. Alright guys, let's test out the movement of this locomotive, I have it on speed steps 28 speed steps, sorry. It does support 128 also. I will call out the speed steps as I advance it. I am using an NCE power cab. So first, speed step 1 in a 28 speed step setting. Speed step 1. The sound has increased. 0 locomotive movement. Let's go to speed step 2. There we have some movement from speed step 2. There is a slight hesitation in it. Speed step 3. Speed step 3 has smoothed everything out. It is moving nice and smooth in speed step 3. Let's stop this and try that in reverse. Let it settle down here a minute. Alright, now let's try speed step 1 again in reverse. Speed step 1. No movement. The prime mover has notched up though. Try speed step 2. There is movement in speed step 2. It is slightly jerky and hesitant. Speed step 3. Again, smoothed out. Running very smooth and steady. And keep in mind this locomotive is straight out of the box and not broken in yet. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Continue with speed step 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. Alright guys, that's the running of this locomotive. Again, keep in mind it has not been broke in. No CVs have been changed. This is what you will get straight out of the box. Chances are it will run a lot smoother once it is broken in. But I say we wrap this video up. I will give you my thoughts on this locomotive. So hold on. Okay guys, there you have the review of Bachmann's HO scale SD70ACe in the Heritage paint scheme of Wabash. I would like to follow up with my thoughts on this locomotive. I'd like to start out by saying that Bachmann has definitely stepped up their game as far as detailing, but it is also not as detailed as some of the other manufacturers out there. Now, as a pricing point, Bachmann, of course, is known for their lower prices, so therefore you're not going to have quite the higher detail that some of the more expensive manufacturers have. But the downside to this thing is, I think Bachmann waited too long to release the Heritage units. So all of the other manufacturers are starting to come down in price. And a lot of them are better detailed and better quality, in my opinion. So this may be a negative for Bachmann. Only time will tell. Again, that's my opinion. This Locomotive retail is $299. I bought it for $159.99. I've seen them anywhere from that up to $169.99, $170.99, all the way up to $200, depending on where you buy it from. Bachmann does have steep discounts. Like I said, for $160, you're starting to look at other makers now. Ather and Genesis is probably top of the line as far as details. That's debatable, but they're non-sound versions of these locomotives in the SD70ACe. You can find them now for $145. Sound, of course, is going to be a lot more expensive, so they're a lot steeper in price. The price comparison is a lot steeper compared to the Bachmann. But you also have MTH. Although MTH has their negative points too, you can find their sound unit locomotives now, the SD70ACes, for $149.99 is the cheapest I've seen them. They are highly discounted at this point in time. So Bachmann might have been a little bit too late coming into the game, but I do want to commend them for some of their excellent details that they have added. The truck detail on this is amazing. Even though the handrails are plastic, they are a very nice size. They have started applying separately applied parts, such as grab irons, although not completely on all of the Locomotive. The downside to me is, you're lacking some of the details as far as see-through fans and grills, non-functioning ditch lights, molded on grab irons in certain areas. The paint, the more I look at it, some of the other manufacturers have nicer paint. There are some kind of looks like I don't know. It's not bad. There's just some areas that kind of look a little blotchy. But overall, this is a nice locomotive. Definitely, the Bachmann has definitely stepped up their game, and I am impressed with that part of it. But like I said, for the price comparison, that's up to you to decide. It's your decision which manufacturer you choose to go with if you are looking into purchasing these. I was just trying to show you a little bit more about this locomotive. That way you can that can help make your decision, I guess. With that, I'm going to leave you with a look at the bottom of this locomotive because I forgot to do that. You will see the speaker is located in the fuel tank. Other than that, there is not much detail or anything to go over in this video. Hopefully you can see that. Alright guys, thanks again. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And like I said, if you have any questions, I will do my best to answer them. But thanks again guys, and I will catch you later.